and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on.
I'm awash with the stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavour show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going on a really fascinating journey, actually. We're looking deep into the complex world of everyday life. And we're doing it through some pretty unique sources. We've got snippets of actual audio recordings, real conversations, totally unscripted.
Yeah, and that's what makes them so valuable. I think you get this unfiltered glimpse into family dynamics, anxieties about big life changes like becoming a grandparent.
Oh, yeah.
And just the basic challenges of, communicating with each other.
Exactly. So our mission, really, in this deep dive is to pull out those key insights, those nuggets of understanding from these candid moments. We want to help you understand the sort of unspoken stuff happening in seemingly simple interactions. Okay, so let's unpack this.
It's a great way to see how these, small personal moments, day-to-day things, they actually reflect much bigger truths about, us.
Yeah.
About human nature and the way we structure our families and relationships.
I totally agree. So let's start with this really ambitious family holiday plan. What hit me straight away was Kate's energy. She's driving this thing almost overwhelmingly proactive, planning for, at least 27 people, including Phoebe's baby.
Yeah, that's a serious number.
Right, and you can feel her determination. She mentions losing Gran, and it feels like this is partly driven by wanting to create this holiday of a lifetime, real family bonding.
But she's realistic too.
She is. She openly says it could go horribly wrong. That mix of huge optimism and clear-eyed realism, it's quite something, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And Kate's enthusiasm, it's great, but it really shines a light on what people sometimes call emotional labor in families.
Ah, right. The invisible work.
Exactly. Planning something this big isn't just about booking flights. It's managing personalities, hopes, maybe old tensions.
Yeah.
And her using a group chat to kick things off, trying to get Seo and Alatondo involved early. That's a classic tactic, isn't it? Trying to distribute that investment.
Get some buy-in, yeah.
Right. Because often one person does end up carrying most of that coordination burden. It raises that question, what happens when it all falls on one person's shoulders?
That's a really good point. And the details are fascinating too. Her suggestion is Albania. Why? Because it looks amazing and offers so much bang for your buck. Practical, but also aspirational. But getting everyone else lined up, not so easy. Brian's got his bridge tournament with Miranda, plus a board meeting.
Busy man.
Yeah. He eventually agrees to a 7:30 p.m. call about the holiday, but after the board meeting, tells you a lot about juggling, doesn't it?
It really does. And those small details, they often reveal the deeper currents, like Brian saying, maybe don't put Miranda in the group chat.
Ooh, yeah. I noticed that.
Yeah.
It's careful navigation, isn't it? Managing who's in the loop, maybe avoiding potential complications or, triangulations. It sets a boundary right away.
Definitely. But then you get that lovely moment too, Kate toasting Phoebe's baby.
Oh, that was sweet. Yeah, totally smitten. Calls the baby a peach or a large plum, and the joke about preferring a Sagittarius over a Scorpio because her dad's a Scorpio.
No.
It just grounds all the big planning in that real warm family feeling.
It does. It keeps it human.
It's those personal bits that make it real, right? And speaking of new additions and new roles, we then shift, don't we, to the anxieties around becoming a grandparent.
The identity shifts.
Yeah. Kate, for example, she wants a spiritual alternative to Gran or Nan. She's very clear. Gran is Peggy. And she doesn't like Bran either. She's actively trying to carve out her own space, her own name.
And that leads us straight to Jakob. His hesitation is, it's profound. It's really quite revealing.
It really is.
What stands out is just how raw he is. I'm not ready to be a grandfather. And then specifically, I've never even been a father, let alone a grandfather.
That hit me too. The vulnerability there.
Yeah, it's not just, I haven't changed many diapers. It's deeper. It's about feeling equipped, maybe feeling like a fraud, and this anxiety about this new, huge role.
And the age thing too.
Oh, absolutely. He says Grandpa sounds like an old man in a fairy tale. He doesn't want to be seen as that old. It's that classic moment, isn't it, when a life change forces you to renegotiate who you think you are.
So true. And Kate tries to help, looking up the Swedish names.
Right. Far, far, and more far.
Yeah, and since Jakob is Phoebe's maternal grandfather, he'd be more far. And his reaction is just, nope, absolutely not. He even kind of extends that doubt to Roy, the other grandfather.
It shows how personal these labels are. They're not just words, they're tied up with identity. And his preference, just Jakob, it's him holding on to his existing self, isn't it?
Sticking to what he knows.
Precisely. And Kate finds it a bit strange, but Brian steps in, tells Jakob to stick to your guns. That's important, that validation.
Yeah, that's support.
And Brian's description of grandparenting, all the fun of the fair, none of the back-breaking souls, mundanity. Brilliant.
Yeah, that was good.
It's such a clever way to reframe it, to ease Jakob's anxiety. Like saying, look, you can enjoy this without feeling crushed by the responsibility. It addresses that core fear.
That's actually, very insightful way to put it. Okay, so let's pivot now from family planning and new roles to a much more immediate crisis.
Right. Things shift gears suddenly.
Yeah. Stella and Pip are having a picnic. Sounds nice and normal. Then bang, a phone call from Rosie's school. And the mood just plummets. The stakes go way up.
They really do. In this scenario, it throws you right into that tough spot for parents. What do you do when your child is accused of something? Especially when it clashes with everything you think you know about them.
Exactly. The accusations that Rosie swore at another girl at lunchtime, and Pip's reaction is instant, fierce disbelief. She says Rosie doesn't even know this word, but they never ever speak like that around her. It's pure protective instinct kicking in.
Absolutely. It's not just denying the action, it's defending her child's character, her upbringing, the whole home environment, really.
And the lack of proof makes it harder. No one heard Rosie say it, so it's just this girl's word against Rosie's.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. He said, she said.
And Pip is clearly distressed, feels awful. And then she mentions she doesn't really like the teacher much, and is not keen on the mom of the other girl, describes her as unfriendly, not warm. So there's this whole backstory, this existing friction.
Right. It taps into that whole social ecosystem around the school, doesn't it? Pip even calls it the school gates thing.
Yeah, that phrase says it all.
It really does. It's like this distinct universe, she says, with its own rules, alliances, tensions. An accusation like this doesn't just stay between the kids. It ripples out through that parent network.
Totally. And the immediate effect on Pip. Picnic's over. She needs to drive straight over there, talk to Rosie herself, now.
That immediacy is key, isn't it? That primal need to connect, to understand, to protect right now. Not wait for the school's process. It's pure parental advocacy in action.
It really is.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you look at all these moments together, the huge holiday plans, the anxieties about being grandpa, this sudden school crisis, they seem different, but they all reveal so much, don't they? About family, who we are, how we connect, or struggle to.
Yeah, universal truths playing out in very specific personal ways. We've seen people dealing with big ambitions, wrestling with new identities, fiercely protecting their own. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, well, it shows how we're always constantly defining and redefining ourselves, even in familiar settings, whether it's deciding if you're grandpa or just Jakob, or stepping up as that protective parent. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What stands out to you about all the different ways we end up with the labels and responsibilities we carry, how we choose them or how they choose us, and how that shapes our lives.
So what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just moving mics around.
So what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the arches.
Are you what we call Foley then?
Kind of. Yep.
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
Yep. That's the ball bar.
This one.
Hayley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. But I mean, it would have been a stretch for him to actually mind it. Oh, I just wish there was something practical I could do to help him get on.
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever